All right, guys, I'm back on the 66 K10. This summer in Texas has been oofda. LeMay has it been hot. So we have got this tent doesn't do anything, but we got it up here anyway. But today what I'm gonna work on this thing is, so you can see some animal drilled a bunch of holes and mounted the switches and ignition and all that stuff into the actual metal frame, because they had some custom gauges up here. So we're going to, I bought this little kit from Eastwood, sheet metal plug kit. Comes with a Christmas tree bit and 3 different sizes of metal discs. You can probably make these yourself, but it was fairly inexpensive. So what you do is you just drill this out. The 3/4 inch hole is what I'm going to use on this one. So this one, you just drill out the hole. This was a little bit, I've already drilled this one out, but you get it to the 3/4 size, and then you take your little disc, well, can I do it, or can I? Well, here we go. Here we go. Oh, there's 2 of them. So, shit. You can see it fills the hole, weld it up, and try to hide what these animals did. You can also see over here, they have butchered this little dash section. Got some dents here. This is all dented up. They cut out this radio slot. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm probably gonna I've got a new panel that basically includes this, but you gotta know where to cut it, and it goes actually up over the top of the dash. That's a little dent there, but I think I can schmooze that a little bit. I don't know if I need to go that high. I may just cut it off right at that lip right there. It also goes over there to the other side by the glove box. So just cut out this whole section right here and re-weld that back in. There is a brace. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but there's a brace that runs inside. What I'm going to do is just cut this steel off, just the outside, and not go through that brace. Even though the new piece has got the brace, then you got to worry about getting back in here and welding the brace and all this. So I'm just going to cut it off of there, and then on the patch panel piece, I'll just cut that off as well. So I don't have to include the bracing. So that's probably going to take my weekend, because I'm not a welder, I'm not a fabricator, I'm not a mechanic. We're going to try this anyway. I mean, it can't look any worse than it is. So we'll knock those 4 holes out, maybe try to get this section cut in, and then, I don't know if I've showed you guys over here before. So we've got, this floor's got some rot, but it seems to be only in this corner, so that should be a fairly easy fix. Going around the rest of the truck on this side, I've already cut out, sorry the wind is probably bad, but I've already cut out this part of the rocker, as you guys saw in another video, previous video. That's a good sound. I'm sure that sounds good. So I'm not really sure, because the floor is pretty jacked up too, but the problem I'm facing is I don't know which part I should go in first. I'm thinking I'm going to put this full length rocker in and go all the way to, I'll probably have to cut this part of the support out so that I can get this piece in. I'm probably going to go just past these holes so that I can get it to, that's what I'm going to use to line everything up. And then I'll just hack off the rest of this, because this metal back here is pretty good. I don't think I need that. So I'll probably just hack it off right there, just so this will all fit. Get it put in here and scribe it, and get that part cut out. And then once that, but that only goes to about right here. And if you can see, there's a lip right here that this floor pan will spot weld to. Unfortunately, on the floor pan, which does come all the way out to the edge, and you could cut off this rocker over here to butt it up to this and weld it. The only problem is this doesn't have any sort of lip that curls over that you can butt weld into here. So I guess I could make a little piece of sheet metal to weld it on here and then put like a little flange on the edge that I could use to butt weld that up. But I'm not sure why they don't put that little deal on there, because on the rocker panel, I know this is riveting, but you'll see it does have that flange. So this is the little flange that comes over and butts up to that firewall. So that's probably what I'm going to have to make and weld onto this piece for the rest of the floor part that I am going to use. Because I think what I'm going to do is put this rocker in first, cut out a section of the floor that I want to replace, and that'll probably be just this little section here, because all of that's pretty solid in there. I don't know if I'm going to replace the whole pan, but anyway, so I may just come over past this bolt. That'll help me give me some alignment as well, and then we'll put a flange up here so that we can spot weld it. I shouldn't say butt weld, spot weld it to the firewall piece. So a lot of stuff going on. I'm also going to have to make a piece. I don't know if you can see, but the replacement panel for this kick panel only comes up. It comes up a little bit higher, but all of this was rotted out, so I cut all that out. It even goes a little bit further up, so I'm hoping I can get that cut out. It's a little difficult where it's located, but I'll definitely put some seam sealer in there and try to get it as good as I can. But yeah, a lot of little metalwork crap that I've got to do. And I don't know if you can notice, but I drilled a little 1/8 inch hole. You see that little 1/8 inch hole right here? So if you move this, you see the hole moves away. So before I took the hinges off, I drilled the hinge into the actual frame of the truck, but also into this slider, so I can get the door back where it was, because it actually had a pretty good gap. I did that top and bottom. So I'm hoping that'll help me line everything back up. This is where they had the antenna come through. So I'm probably going to drill that out. I don't know if I need the antenna, but I'll probably drill it out and put a rubber grommet in there. And then here I had to cut this bolt off, so I put a nut zert in there so I could put this kind of cowl cover back over here. This one was pretty jacked up. Got to still clean and paint. I'm gonna pull that whole transmission, all the arms up for the wipers out of there, and clean all that up and get it painted. You can see there's some pretty good rust. That looks pretty good on the side, but as you start to get up here, it's pretty chewy. But I think it's solid enough metal that I can put a windshield back in. I cleaned it all up. I sprayed some rust reformer on there. Over on the driver's side, we do have a little bit of rust through, so I'll probably right there. So I'll probably have to just cut a little section of that out and weld a different, bend it up and put it in there. It's all going to be hidden by the rubber and the glass, so should be okay. You can see that the dash is, that grate is all jacked up. It's hard to see on the angle, but it's got some little dents and stuff in it. So hopefully I can straighten all that out with a hammer and dolly and get it schmoozed up where you can't really see it. But anyway, that's the plan for this next video, is to get after those holes, or those animals drilled into my dash, and maybe get that center section cut in, welded in, and I'm probably not going to start on the floors. I still want to try to understand before I go to cutting in the floors exactly what I'm doing. Eventually I'm going to have to fix that tunnel, that high hump, and you know, obviously had a 4-speed in here, and the 4-wheel drive shifter. I don't know why it's moved so far forward, but I'm going to have to fill that big hole, and then I can make clean up and cut a straighter line for the 4-wheel drive shifter, or the transfer case shifter, and get some rubber shift boot over top of that. So anyway, the reason I only I'm doing one side at a time, because again, I don't do this for a living and I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm going to be able to come over here and look at what's jacked up. If I screw up over there, I can see at least what it's supposed to look like over here. I did say in the last video it was a factory 4-wheel drive, so you can see those are the original how to shift into 4-wheel drive, and I don't know what that one is over there. It's pretty messed up. I couldn't actually see it. So we'll get this metal stuff started and go from there. It did have a hole here that was, I don't know what they had a nice perfectly drilled 3/4 inch hole here, and had a rubber plug over it. So I just used one of those metal plugs that I just showed you for the dash, welded it in here, ground it down, put a little bit of schmooze on it, some short strand fiberglass to kind of fill in any gaps. It's not perfect, you can feel a little bit there, and then put some primer over top of it. So it works. Probably, again, not pretty, but it'll get the job done, fill the hole in. So anyway, that's where I'm gonna stop, and I'll come back and we'll get to actually showing you the welding part. Again, I'm not a welder, so I hope your expectations aren't high. Don't do what I do. Hopefully learn from the mistakes I'm gonna make here, and don't do that. But I'm just using a little Lincoln 140. Bought it at Home Depot. I've used it a little bit. I don't know, this is my first, I'm 56 years old and have not done any welding until this year. So I'm learning, and it's kicking my ass. I'm blowing through a lot. I think I got it set too high, so I did dial it down. I'll go through the settings. If it starts to work and we get it going right, I'll show you what the settings are and stuff. So anyway, guys, I appreciate you watching, and please hit like and subscribe so you know when new videos are posted, and it helps me a lot. I'm not doing anything on any fancy equipment. I've got an iPhone, and you know, that's all I'm recording all this stuff on. So hopefully if you know, people have an interest in the stuff we're showing and the stuff we're doing, then the channel will grow, and we can do a little bit more, we can get a little bit fancier equipment and learn how to use it. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.